You know, I thought being trans was something modern when I was young. When I was young, first, I thought it was straight, and I tried to have crushes and boyfriends as a girl. They were platonic. I had more luck and game than the other girls because I could actually befriend the boys, but I wasn't attracted to them more than just platonic. I definitely had real relationships, interest, compatibility, camaraderie, but it was platonic. I found the difference at 14 between that and a crush when I had my first one on a girl. They're actually another trans masculine person, so it's funny calling them a girl, but it's just what made me gay. Clearly, at the time. It was a definitive moment. And it's a funny thing that taught me that your life can change from one moment to the next. Maybe you have moments like that when you fell in love, maybe when you got a job than you had for the rest of your life that was really significant, or when you realized you needed to go on that career path. Maybe there's a moment you can remember where somebody passed away, or you got a divorce, or somebody broke up with you or left you, or you had to leave a toxic relationship. There's these moments where you're different after. Everything changes. The same way as you change falling into love and maybe you start a family, and that's a huge change for your life. There's these pivot points of transformation where you're aligned with a dream and it with you and timing, and it's what becomes real here. It's sort of like a chapter in a book or like episode in a series. So this one I was trans and gay. Transgender man, trans butch, masculine, genderqueer, non-binary, queer masculine, tomboy. All of it to me is continuum. I have had a lot of beauty and a lot of misery. I had a lot of mental health biologically, genetically too. Mental illness that I battled at the same time. And I faced stigma of being unnatural, being transgendered, and needing medication for my mental health. Both needed pharmaceuticals. My dad was a naturopath, and my mother an artist who really doesn't like to take pharmaceuticals, and so this was a challenge for my family and for me for a long time. I became estranged from my mother for years around the poignant issue of whether or not to physically change my body and become a gender in the world that was different, be a he instead of a she. And of course, my mother would be so upset because I look more like her ex, for one, and a man less like her, right? But I also really erased a part of my own gender. I deactivated it and made it back in the invisible versus putting another one that was invisible visible. I switched them. That is huge. I brought forward a really different part of me, and it's an experiment trans masculine people are doing to physicalize this because it really flips. A lot of us maybe turn gay another way, another part of us comes out with the masculine. Um, I've got all kinds more pansexual and sissy and um, gender fluid and diva, like, and gay, parts of myself that have come out with masculinizing and being male. I love jewelry. I love jewelry as a man more than I loved it as a butch. As a butch, I loved masculinizing. Now I don't get to wear those like Stetson hats or whatever. I mean, I do sometimes. I definitely do. I do. Being a butch taught me a good way to be a man. So now that I pass as a man, I actually find that I'm really grateful that I was raised as a butch and a tomboy because I like the masculinity that it gave me. And it makes me realize, there's something very natural about taking hormone replacement therapy too. There's gender affirming surgeries and hormone replacement therapies are mostly done by cisgendered and heterosexual people. So it's funny that it's become stigmatized as a transgender or a queer issue, as if it were a blasphemous thing to do, or a waste, or a corruption, some sort of cyborg modernity that's to be feared and judged. That's the assumption that it's unnatural. People say it's even, I don't know, brutalizing yourself. kind of intense words, you know. Um, anyways, the point is that most cisgender and heterosexual people they're the majority of people doing hormone replacement therapy and gender affirming hormones and surgeries as well. So yeah, we're being scapegoated unnecessarily. There's nothing really to be stigmatized more than you would stigmatize a straight cis person for doing that either. I mean, it benefits the health and body alignment that's right for us. We decide that with medical professionals. We weigh the risks against the benefits. We supplement estrogen or testosterone as needed. We get surgery if we need that. Mostly cis and straight people are doing this. Nobody's going after them for mutilating their body. That's the word they use. Mutilate. Like a teenage mutant ninja turtle. Mutant. Reminds me of the X-Men. That's how people treat us as trans people. They'll bring up health issues. Oh, big pharma. What a corruption. People justify kicking their family members out of their family over this issue because it's unnatural, and they have mutilated the family body. My mother and I had a falling out for near a decade about it. We still related, but not very well. I didn't feel. There were definitely hard times of just yeah, intentional separation. It's hard. It's painful. I don't love that, but what I feel is that there was such a difference that sometimes the space is needed to just differentiate and be okay with being different. You just agree to disagree. And sometimes you have to do that separate for a bit in order to have a relationship again. Find something, have something shift. I don't know. Because there has to be a meeting place that's authentic. And everybody has to find that first themselves. We all have front, back, left, right, but below. Those are the three directions. Movement. Check them out. Those are the binaries. But you're juggling them three ways, and you got to figure out which is the past or the future, heaven or earth, left or right, this or that, you know, blue or red. Well, you know, the truth is purple. Both, the middle place. I'm an astrologer, an alchemist in many ways. You got the sun and moon, everybody's heard of that. Usually in their astrology, they're more familiar. But there's this thing, the rising sign, where it's the energy of the horizon at dawn that was at the horizon. Not just dawn, but the energy of the horizon when you were born. So, for instance, if you were born now, it would be the sign rising right there. It's actually the energy imprinting on you very personally, and it slices the pie and differentiates you in this incredible way that weaves with that land and that exact time. It is a very unique thing. People don't like to be boxed in by astrology, but that's because the astrology has been too colonized and boxes everybody in. It's not used right. It's there to show you your true nature and divine purpose. Everybody wants to know the meaning of life. Well, you should be an astrologer. Look at your chart. It's the oracle you want to look at forever. It's a mirror. It's beautiful. Fractal, incredible kaleidoscoping thing. It's amazing. Why wouldn't you want to understand that five-dimensional timescape the whole time? Kaleidoscoping, that's your fates and woven there and coming into this realm. Anyways, I'd like to know. I watch it. It's thrilling. Story weaving tool. It's technology for liberation, healing, transformation. It absolutely is. The ancestral medicine was stories, and people are like, what is that? It's like, well, what do you think about the story I found when I was 14 when I realized in that moment I'm gay? You know, it changed my life because of the story changed. So narrative, you know, we do so much with story. I've reclaimed my history, my past, my present. Working on reclaiming the future. I guess that has to do with some future present thing that's being woven. That's interesting because I had other people around me too much. See, being trans, you have to constantly be making space for yourself to exist because that space has been missing. And there's a whole story to that. Go back for more videos. I'll tell you more about that. But this is a missing piece of everybody in our whole collective humanity because everybody has an inner family system. So this is everybody. So, yeah, it's important to figure this out for us all. And to figure out those moments where you're going to let your self be changed by the truth, you know? Let yourself be changed by the truth. Like, because it feels good. People are so protective of being changed and don't mess up my game and that's not right and that's not maintaining the order. Well, are you facing backwards or forwards when you're sailing? Which way do you want to go? You know, are you looking where you don't want to go or where you've been, or are you looking where you're going? Because I'm looking for becoming in future and towards this golden or twinkling stars like the horizon. I'm thinking that way. Anyways, I meet in the heart there and the whole time, and I do navigate. I'm hoping from that place as a queer and trans person in a way that I could share with the world, so you can reclaim that part of yourself too, and do the same. Positive forms of gender in new forms, and everything exalts the other. It's great. Like how being female exalted masculine for me, and then how my trans masculine can exalt whatever gender you are, because we all do that for each other. It's great. I exalt masculine and feminine in my own unique way. So do you. And we interchange and we inspire, and that's healing. And, it's beautiful. It's like musicians playing with each other and dancing. It's great. It's never not good. It's like a feast, potlucking. It's never not good. It's always better.